Hi, my name is Tiffany Cameron, Reggae Girl's top striker, and you are watching Ryan LFC YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Welcome back again, guys. It's your boy Ryan LFC back again, guys. Another top shelf video for you guys today. Listen, Reggae Boyz versus Honduras at the National Stadium tomorrow at 8 p.m. Can the Reggae Boyz get the double over Honduras? The two worst team in Concacaf, I believe, Jamaica and Honduras. But let's bring on Military Guna TV. Military, how are you?
I'm doing fine. What's up, bro?
I haven't seen you from that defeat from Liverpool.
I'm alive, you know. You don't know. We have a better team now, so I just say go. You are going with us now. We still have trust the process, and we still have build. We're in the building phase, and we soon reach right over there. We soon reach a man. Time.
Go and build a whole heap of building on a land.
How long it take on for build?
Long time, but
right. I want to reach it now.
Yeah.
I know right now, not best in that world, so I say go.
Boy, people, I have a boy named I am sure TV Mannings, man. People, let me tell you something. This brother, I'm hide him. Him can't hide. The man say him promise me say him come on. When him get smashed, him promise him I do the preview. And all of a sudden, the man run away. But welcome, Bridget.
Military Gunner, big up. You only yellow fellow gunners, you know.
Yes, man. Well done. Welcome, Gunner.
We don't greet those from Anfield. Yeah, Anfield.
Half the field.
Yeah. Anfield them there, man.
Yes, it's true. Them project reaching at the final stage where everything blossom and nice now. They can talk to you, but we are coming.
They need to sign a project to get Salah to the World Cup.
Shine some light in our face.
Yeah.
The man him dump out Salah, boy, man, him not easy, you know, 2 times. Him dump out him teammate, Bridget.
Oh, it's so funny, right? Because in the African Cup of Nations, Salah waited last to kick and never got a penalty. And they lost. This time, he chose to kick first.
I kick you.
I don't want to kick with the rest of the penalty them. Oh, my God.
So what that mean from an African team like Senegal, man? They has won for a long time. You know, I see Military gonna post the other day. I think it was them take it for how long before them coach win
30 years.
30. No man, the coach himself.
The coach, yeah. Oh, the coach. I think then wait to the coach must about 9 years. Then wait to the coach. If we win the Afghan
nation.
Yeah, if we win the Afghan and then now if we can win it, if we can qualify now a whole 5 years.
Why?
How old is Salah?
Salah, man. No, man. Huh? Salah 29, man.
Salah 30. Where is Ryan? I don't know about that age. Let me check.
No, man. I'm 29, man.
It's my 30 this year.
Because it's 19 from Africa going to the next World Cup, you know. So if you stick around, you can make it.
If you stick around.
So much team from Africa go to the World Cup?
This time 5.
That's a joke, bro.
That's what they say.
We give 5, brother.
Yeah, so that's why they gave them 4 other spots for the 2026 camp.
In my 30 this year, Ryan.
My 30 this year.
Yeah.
34. What you think? Him can still make it at the World Cup?
Remember saying man, if you look at these professional players and look at how they keep them body, look at how they keep them shape and their fitness level. Even at 36, them have got guns same way. I take out Ronaldo, I take out them 2 times. You have the Lewandowski, what 32, I got 33 now. The Benzema 32, I got 33. So them have the prime age where they can go. And if you look at Salah was actually a late bloomer. And like Salah kick it off from 18, 19. It's a late bloomer. So normally, once he keep in shape, he might have a longer duration. As owing to the fact that he's a late bloomer.
Yeah. I don't know if Salah's still going to keep putting these numbers, but that's for another topic.
You think I keep it, man? I put it in, man. Yeah, man. Come on, bro. You don't know when you have to look. You have to be a talent spotter, you know. You have to spot certain aspect, you know. The major aspect in a Salah, you know, is how him keep him body, you know. The biggest aspect that, you know. And for example, like our striker, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, the way him keep him body, why him can go at that age, you know, like Aubameyang at 32 this year, you know. Yeah. And he still a fly at 100 miles per hour. So how them keep them body, man. That's a big factor.
And you know what I realize that you're right in the military Guna. Some of the players who grew up in certain countries playing football, their lifespan is shorter. I guess because they get so many hard tackles growing up. Because you know, in certain, like in Europe, if you play most of your career in Europe, you get protected more.
I.e. Brazil, the South American teams, some talented players from that region, but the duration short. I base of how management say them style of football. I'm surprised that Messi actually goes so far as well.
Well, because he spent most of his time at Barcelona.
But look how much kick he can get.
I feel like he might go back to Barca this summer.
Yeah, man, I might go back.
That
really?
Yeah,
I might go back, man.
I think he love Barcelona alone, brother.
And I love, you know, he needs to go on team or fit team style of play where he can get the best of time. At PSG, you know, get the best of time.
So you think Mbappe leaving PSG?
For
Messi
sure, 100%. Straight to Madrid, Mbappe. Messi leaving PSG.
I want him stay at PSG because that's only going to open the door for them come for Salah. Yeah, because the man are going to lose two big stars, Mbappe and my boy. That I got just spoke up and say, listen, but I forgot to get Salah.
So why they want to get Lewandowski, seeing that he wants out of Bayern?
He wants out of Bayern. Yeah, that's a good. That's the man, man. Yeah. You look like he want out, man. He look like I'm not saying he want out, but he wants something new.
And I think Liverpool, if Salah leave, I think Klopp would get Lewandowski, you know, because he coached him.
Salah more for stay, brother.
No, but which part not play? Which part play Lewandowski? Lewandowski, that's suit na Klopp system.
But he coached him.
Yeah, he coached him. But remember I said, even though he coached him, you know, the whole I get the more you solidify yourself in your bad habits, you know. So you basically pattern yourself to play a particular way. That is the reason most coach now, they would have select younger baller who then can farm to play as how them want them to play. Versus one older baller, who kicky ball, what now play for themselves, to go try to formulate them or carve them in a year type of baller. So that's why. So if Liverpool get a ball, Liverpool will go for it. That is the reason Liverpool went for Jota. Somebody who are young who then can curve into the type of baller where they want it to be. More so going for an experienced striker who already have a bad habits and who already passed that way. That level already. Good, really good enough. Talented player enough. But in past the age where he can curve in certain way.
Well, let us see what's going to happen. But man, Reggae Boyz now. Let's start Reggae Boyz. It look like I'm gonna miss the next World Cup again if we don't get.
Look like. Yes, still
the next World Cup is we're talking about 2026.
2026 attack.
Yeah.
No, man. Based on how it is, you know, because based on what I've read from you know, Gabby Marcotti did a whole report, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, some people are suggesting because you know that it's 6 slots because it increasing to 48 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. And again, if you're outside of Mexico, USA, and Canada, if you fall in a certain bracket, it's the same 8 teams that go and play to qualify.
Mm-hmm.
Which really means you have Costa Rica,
Panama,
Honduras,
El Salvador.
Say we put Jamaica in there,
mm-hmm.
and like a Guatemala, you have your Suriname, your Martinique, your Trinidad, the Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the top teams. All right. I think that's an easier World Cup to qualify for than this World Cup.
Very, very much so. I agree.
If we don't make 2026, we're not gonna more World Cup in our lifetime.
Can write it off, man.
Because this is an easier way for we. If we don't make it, we can just kiss it goodbye.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can talk about World Cup of a domino or something. Think about it. If you don't have to play Mexico, USA, and Canada. Because USA team is going to be the same young team.
Mm-hmm.
Canada team is going to predominantly. You're not playing those, and you can't get one of the other 3 spots. You need to play dominoes.
Jacks, domino will take what I'm thinking now. You feel like we're smart enough to put that together. I some Jacks are gonna play our what they call it with elastic, chop on wall, boom on wall. Something more simple, really, really, really simple. Nothing what I'm thinking.
As simple as you don't see it. like how we start prepare late for this one, it can happen
Mhm.
if we get one together. Cause El Salvador is a young team too. Them a young
Mexico rebuild as well.
Mexico. And even when I even talk about Mexico, but my biggest worry going into the next World Cup management is Honduras always qualify for Youth World Cup. The Panama and the Costa Rica, them always around that under 20, under 23. If you look on the Olympic, them team they always got the Olympic. So me I look on it and me I say, building back a team for Honduras, it'll take them quicker than us. Quicker than we. But let us see. But Manningsman from 2012, we no win a World Cup qualified game at home. Can we get the double over this Honduras team?
Yeah, right. The match at 8 o'clock, you know. So you know when me leave match, you know, bro, at night, you know, to drive come back home. The man them better win, brother. I go strike. I tell you, me not go. Me not, if me not get a win, I can't go through a next campaign. And me not miss not, I have not missed a World Cup campaign game at home since 1998. All right?
Eh?
From 1998, every game I attend, including this one in the midst of the pandemic. And like I said, the last time is 4-1, I think we gave Antigua. Was the last time I saw Jamaica win at home. I think Rudolph Austin scored another game there. You know. 4-1. All right. And we have had good teams. And, you know, some of the times we had something to play for. This time there's nothing. In other words, I don't think there's nothing that would hinder the team from being, like, no pressure, no spectator, because really and truly, I can call and tell you how much spectator there are. A lot of people not going to turn up. You have no spectator, you have no pressure, you're playing for nothing. You can try all the pile and salads you want. Whether you win, lose, or draw, there's nothing. So you're not supposed to lose. The other thing is that Honduras has nothing to lose. Honduras is coming here playing for nothing at all. You don't even know who coming for Honduras. They could probably bring the under 20 team.
Preparing.
So we need to get a result, and that is my. If this would be the most disappointing of all of them if we don't get a result, because there's nothing. It's an absolutely nothing game, and Paul should know, in my opinion, that listen, though it's a nothing game, if you lose again, people are gonna pressure you. So you have to find a way to get these youths to win. To say, listen, I got 3 points. I finished in 6th place.
Even that, Bridging, even if we go off, because as we say, man, it wouldn't make sense for our last game, I want to win. That's going to add more pressure. People are going to start think about why we change a coach. We concede 14 goals and score 4. A lot of people are saying, yo, Paul are naive as a young coach, having coach at this level. The pressure will be on him. I'm going to love for him to win, for the pressure to cool down. That's all me I say. Just win that game here. We beat Honduras already. Make it be. Don't make Honduras come here and beat. That be more embarrassment in the World Cup qualified campaign. And we can't afford that. How you feel, military? We can win?
I think we're gonna win, you know. But my problem is this now, Ryan. You see, the truth is that we as fans, we want. I blame. I think I should blame this on the more modern fan base, where we require success right now. And if we don't get success right now, everything is a failure. You can't see the bright side of things. You fail to see the bright side of things because you're not getting the success that you want right now. You're not getting the desired result that you want right now. And the truth is that football is a game of results. So results really matter. Results is what counts at the end of the day. But we don't look at the building phase leading to the results. So, for example, throughout the entirety of the 90 minutes, we're not looking at each individual player we're not looking at each individual player, how well they played or how poorly they played, leading up to the results at the end of the game. Now, there comes a time in which you say, okay, what is the aim here? What do we want to do? What is the objective? And at this point in time, the objective is for us to learn. We're at a learning curve right now. The objective for us is to learn to progress for 2026. How can we get better for 2026? Now, the reason I said that we're going to win is that because I've seen the performances improved. People are going to say, why we improve and still get 4? Even if, Ryan, we didn't have the best players on the pitch against Canada, we might get 2 same way, but we still get a hammering. There was many factors in that game. Many factors. Now, people are accused me and say me I make goal by excuses. But them not you see most people, Ryan, as I say, people are looking for the results. People not looking at the other aspects of football. If we had went to Canada and sit back for the entire 90 minutes and try to defend and lose 3-0, what would have gained from that game? What would have learned from that game? You know the reason why we get Tom 4? Because we play expansive. We go toe-to-toe with Canada. That is the reason why we get boxed up in our face. That come like Ryan. 1 5-foot man, 5'2" man, who never fight before. I go up against me. What military train, kickboxing train, actually boxing train, was 6 foot. I come like a suicide. But guess what? If him come in a ring with me and the entire time in the pan and shield so and I try to put a jab and he get beat up, he don't learn nothing. You see when he come now, I mean give him a hard and nice half point right so and he take it and he throw one half for me can say alright, him willing to fight. But him still get beat up, you know. But him willing to fight. And guess what no? He might learn, he might use that they beat now when get. And said, okay, alright, he lick me under my neck so. What me can do for stop him from lick me? So that is what me I talk about, right? This time phase out in right now. We are the 5'3" person at the ring right now. So any team, most of the teams that will go up against, especially the top teams, we are gonna get some hard blick. We are gonna get some hard beating. Because we are learn. We learn how to be like them people there. We learn how to be like those teams. So we can formulate ourselves and better ourselves. I say it's tough to take, you know. Because the first time we go to boxing ring, you know, a man knocked me out cool. Cool.
In the army?
Yeah, cool, Ryan, cool. Can me go up against a boxer, a professional boxer, me go up against. Man knocked me out cool.
So, yeah, he's a boxer or you just...
No, just not training them teeth.
He man go up against Will Smith and get a box dog.
Yeah. Yeah, not me cold man. I'm have to go back go train.
But Chris Rock turned up against Will Smith.
I know how many up he can back. I him say I'm go train it, you know. Him say I'm go train it. And the man when we go realize that the man train harder than me. The man train 3 times as hard as me. The man no rest. When me plan to rest, the man not rest. So me realize why him there was part him there. So now if we as Jamaica football team can go to a Canada under those adverse conditions and go toe-to-toe with them, we get boxed up still now, but we get toe-to-toe with them, Ryan. What gonna happen one time, a few years, maybe a year down or 2 years down, if we keep this progress going? And put in more work, if we're going to recruit better quality players who fit the system we are trying to do right now. What going to happen not 2 years time? We're supposed to punch with them hard. We're supposed to kick out the net back. Easy.
Military. It's the man punch you down.
Brother, me black out, me look up in the sky, the instructor said, Baker, see you want to continue? I said, no, sir. I said, no, sir. No,
boy,
cool, man.
I tell you the truth. Manning's man. So, So, yeah, me I say Manning's man, because I know you have to run shortly. 6:30 now in a Manning's man.
Mm-hmm.
So, Manning's man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, me I say now, going forward, you're sticking with these core, you're sticking with these local players. Are you keeping some?
No, man. Listen, here's my thing. First thing, offer this solution. First thing, Paul must be given a chance, in my opinion, regardless of what the result. Give him a 2-year contract, so him have at least the Nations League and him have a Gold Cup. and then you evaluate him. Allow him to choose him in backroom staff. So everybody, including team manager, every single body, wanna gone, wanna get fired. Doctor, nurse, lawyer, beggarman, thief, everybody gone. All right, and allow him to choose his backroom staff. All right, that's number one. 2-year contract, depending on how you do in the first 2 years, we will extend it to the World Cup campaign. All right, and here's what, listen, and by the end of the 2 years, we need to have a minimum of 30 players that you have been working with at some point to make the core of the team. All right, I think what needs to happen is that he needs to find a group of people to help him look through England and recruit and assess in different tiers. So you say, like, listen, we are going to go after these Premier League players. All right, these are the first tier. Then probably some championship players. Then we're going to look to other markets like the North American market, who in Canada, who in America, and they use the resources, meaning past players and people who love Jamaica football, who run academies over that side, and let them recommend players to you. Then you also keep a local group of players training in Jamaica, right? You know, where every I said twice a month they meet, they train, they play in some practice game against Turks and Caicos, Cayman Islands, Bonaire, Barbados, and those places. So they are learning and things, right? So you're giving him all of this, you know, because it's going to take money, but this is how I think it needs to work. And then, so when Paul Hall comes and say, listen, I'm going to take 2 of these players, they would have been in training for at least, you understand me, sometime playing some games. So they would at least learn and understand what he wants to do. Those players get mixed with your overseas players in Europe and those in America, and you play your major tournaments. At the end of the day, at all times, the best Jamaicans. I'm not into work with local players. The best players must be selected. And the truth is 2 things, Ryan. You see, we're still playing in football in Jamaica. Here's what I say. If you're good, you're gone. If you're here, is your age or your average. If you're still playing in Jamaica, you're either too young, too old, or you're average player. Because if you're good, you're going to be gone. So I don't expect in Jamaica to find players. Because if you're in Jamaica playing for 5 years, brethren, you're average. Or you're old, or you're too young. Because once you're good, you're gone out of Jamaica.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. So basically what you're saying, if them good, them can make the national team and them can go overseas, go play. But Mannings, man, how much of these players would you keep? Because I still think you have some very good players and them are playing at the JPL. I'm not saying if dash all of them, but I still think can count on.
What I'm saying though is that the players that I see, that I think they're going to leave. If this year you don't leave Jamaica, you're average. That's my thing. If the end of this year, having represented the country, you're still in Jamaica playing, you're probably average. So here's my thing. I think like Tyreek Xeminis need to leave. You understand me? Richard King need to leave. Daniel Green need to leave. Christopher Pearson need to leave. Those are 4 players who are in the present team that I think have potential to play overseas. Remember, you have guys like Akwasa Chang and those guys. Pete, right. One from JC, always forget his name. Duncan McKenzie. Those guys are already overseas, you know. And you understand me? You have some of the Phoenix guys. They're already overseas. So when you are in Jamaica, you have to find a way to get out of Jamaica. Because if you stay here, you can't validate a consistent spot in the team. Because we're not talking about English-born players. There are other Jamaicans who are making names in Europe who are born in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So if Tyreek Xeminis is still here 3 years from now, brethren, he's not going to make the national team. If Richard King can't leave Cavaliers and go overseas, I don't think he can make the national team. Because the local league not going to challenge him enough to increase him level, in my opinion.
Right. But what if the money that Cavaliers want for him, Mannings, man? What if the money where them now get the money where them think him winning him there?
Well, that is the problem, because watch this. Say Cavaliers believe he's valued $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and say we are not going to sell him. My position is this. The local league is not good enough to prepare you well enough for international standards. That is the issue with it. It can identify talent, but it cannot transform talent into world class. It's not properly structured to do that, but it's a good place to spot talent. So when you're spotted and you get called into your national team at 17, where are you? How are you going to grow? Who is going to challenge Tariq Zimenez enough locally to bring him to a higher level?
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Big up yourself, Coach Karum. Big up yourself from Tennessee. Good evening. Why come like how the Arsenal fans today?
Invasion.
When I come out in the numbers, I didn't even realize what I was doing.
Are you make a call, you know?
You know what, right? So you don't have to go and then come back, but
yeah.
But Crystal, don't see, it has nothing to do with you, right? It has more to do with the Liverpool. It has everything to do with the Liverpool fellow up top, right? But I'm going to run and then I'm going to come back as soon as I'm finished, Ryan. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, man. Blessing. So, Crystal, have a wonderful rest of the time.
You too. Hopefully, by the time you're back, hopefully I'm still here.
Yeah, military gold and Crystal keep burning the Arsenal flame. You understand me?
Red and white.
Definitely, we're burning out ant field. Yeah, A-N-T.
Hey, easy, Reggie. Don't tell me that I hurt Reggie on the Monday live. I'm half a giant, brother. I'm half a get some more gimmicks, Reggie. Brother, I need to do a comedian, brother. I need to go a comedian. Trust me. All right. I'm going to do a thing and come back, brother.
Yeah, man. All right, cool.
All right, people. So we have Formula for join as soon as possible. Formula come in and thing. I hope Formula is a Man U man or Arsenal.
I never see Formula support. Me never even discuss not overseas team.
I feel like Formula is Chelsea.
Yes, they move like on Chelsea supporter.
Yeah, it seems like a Chelsea fan to me.
You know, you're probably right.
He feels like a Chelsea fan.
Well, I hope him is not an Arsenal fan.
No.
Arsenal.
It's not Arsenal.
I'm not Arsenal.
Right.
Arsenal fan have an extra buzz, you know, like extra zeal. Actually, we have an extra. Look, most Arsenal fan, man. Three things: them loyal, them what they call now them what them call it, like when they're full of energy. What's that term when they're full of energy?
Vibrant.
Yeah, no Arsenal
no,
fan.
man, them kind of hyper, man. Them full of energy.
Hyperactive.
Hyperactive, yeah. What's the third one now? They love chat.
Them cocky, man.
Yeah. No, not cocky. No, that's how the Man U fans them. That's how I like them.
Fans are cocky.
That's how them ever fight. And all of my friends are Man U fans now. Top fight.
Arsenal fans them cocky.
Formula is too calm to be a Arsenal fan.
I think him is an Arsenal fans, man.
Yeah,
and him too simple to be a Man U fan.
Yeah. He's not Man U or Arsenal, definitely not.
Come see him do video already, man, about Arsenal, man.
No, he's too calm to be Arsenal. He can't be Arsenal fan. He's way too calm. He's too composed to be an Arsenal
fan. Come on, we know if him the Arsenal or a Man City.
Exactly, him too composed. They still let me know what me can't say one place. Me have to move. Me have to do. Me have to talk. See the Karum active in the comment section. Karum active in the comment section. One get him point out.
Yeah. But anyway, so Crystal, tomorrow big game. I don't want to see a disappointed. I want to go to work with a smile on my face. Cause you know, say, I tell the military and Crystal, when I went into work Monday morning, people who never spoke to me at work, never. Some white fella just walk up to me. We're going to the World Cup. I was so frightened because these guys never yet talk to me in work, brother. And then the man say, yo, brother, all in the lunchroom, the man them come. The man them say, yo, World Cup. Can you imagine if you know that every time Canada go into the World Cup, who them beat is Jamaica. So we are part of the Canadian history, you know. And we have Canada player who score them parents is Jamaican.
Mm.
So it's like a Jamaican beat Jamaica. Anyway.
The irony, because we're always beating ourselves. So there you go, bit of irony.
For real. But Crystal, how you feel about the game tomorrow?
I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling at ease. Like maybe I'm just maybe I don't know if it shouldn't be too high of an expectation. Even if we look back at the 2-0 defeat, we beat them 2-0 in the reverse fixture. Even though the team has changed since then, in regards to the recent call-ups and so on, the players who are here and the players who aren't. Even with that being said, I'm still expecting a win, but just simply because you have to win. It's your final game. You want to close off the conclusion of our World Cup qualifiers in style, and you're going to be doing on home soil as well. I think if they do this, if they go out and get the double over Honduras, then it puts themselves in a position where they could probably persuade a few extra bodies to support them in upcoming tournaments, because they're going to be needing it. They're going to need their 12th man more than ever before. So hopefully they can go out there and give a good account of themselves.
Yeah. Well, military, if Paula loses, what kind of taste it will leave in the Jamaican fans?
May I tell you the truth? That would be a bitter, extremely bitter taste. And it would have 100% leave a lot of questions to be asked about him as a coach. That's firstly because this is a game that under the previous coach we won this game under the previous coach. So and that game we won under the previous coach was actually not much of a, how would I put it now? It wasn't the best team. It wasn't the best team. So questions will be asked, but for me, I do believe I'm a patient, really patient person, and I have time. When I see progress, I have time for progress. I am not only about what is happening now and the win for now, but definitely it will leave a bitter taste in the mouth and boils on a little bit to the nature of the loss as well. If Honduras come back away, I think that's questionable. That's really questionable. But if we show a dominant performance like we did against El Salvador and didn't get the result, I just think that means that we have some other aspects of football to really work on in regards to the soft factors that I always speak about. And I do believe that it's a big point. We don't really talk about it. And I 100% believe that if you whole entire campaign, we don't really discuss it. We just talk about it 1 and 2 times, but we never get in depth with it. The psychological aspect of football. Our players need to be psychologically evaluated because they have been through so much losses. See, a serious man. These guys have been through so much disappointing campaigns, all the off the field issues, all the off the field stress. The family gonna off the field stress, the off the field issues, the coaching, all of these issues are part of the soft factors which affect the team. And we never really stop this to ask the players, how are you? Well, how do you think you can go about the rest of the campaign? Like ask them that in the middle of the campaign. What do you think you bring to this team? And ask the players these questions. Evaluate the players individually to see what they believe that they can have to the squad, to think that to see what the level that they're at mentally, and to challenge them to see how strong they are mentally. Because some of these games that we're losing or we're not winning, I honestly believe that no matter how much talent you might have on the field, but there's a psychological cloud will cover the team. For example, this evening we witnessed Senegal defeating Egypt. Yes, we can talk about the light and whatever, but the psychological that Senegal had, the psychological advantage that Senegal had over Egypt was from the AFCON, where they went to the penalty and Senegal won the penalty shootout. So going into this penalty shootout now, they have that psychological advantage. So even if they didn't have the confidence, they already ahead 1 foot already in the World Cup finals, just because they defeated them already. Now, when you go into the penalty shootout, now that is where now the players should reevaluate themselves and say, what can we do, whatever. All the players miss their penalty. because the nerves, the memory that fall back and the Afghans just come back right into that state, and nobody couldn't convert. The best player, best player in the world right now couldn't convert. It's a big aspect of the football that we don't even talk about. We love to talk about performance, we love to talk about players, we love to talk about quality of players, but we're not talking about up-here of the players them. We're not speaking about up-here, so this factor, big factor. But I'll be gutted if we lose. But me think we're going to win.
All right. Big up on yourself, people. Formula, welcome. People, smash the like button, man. Come on, people. Over 130 of you guys in the chat. Like the video, people. Come on, man. What you do to me today, man? Jesus Christ, man. Like the video, people. Formula is here. Formula, which club team in support? Arsenal?
Me hear some people on the stream and link me to some side.
Come on, man. Just tell us side to support them, man. Come on, man.
All right, let me tell you. I support Aston Villa. I support Derby County. I support Philadelphia Union. I support Kappa and Domzale and my team them in Slovenia. Only side to support my
So Formula, you see, like me now.
Formula play mind game, brother.
Exactly. Ryan, it's like me on a weekend when Arsenal play early Saturday morning and get a beaten. The weekend done. The weekend done, Ryan. The weekend done. Formula now tell me say no. Team weekend done till all Monday, no. Can I still have a team to look forward to, you know. A weekend done.
All right. In all seriousness though. Growing up, Crystal is actually spot on. Crystal is a very good, you know, what should I say? You know, people who know people, you know, the term will lose me right now. You know, good body analyzer of character, so to speak. Yeah. The term will lose me right now. But Crystal is right. When growing up, I used to support Chelsea.
So we are
I tell you, Aston Villa and Kappa and Kukariki and them say,
man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. Me personally, I don't really have that affinity to Chelsea that I once did when I was younger, to be honest with you. And I found myself more leaning towards feeling more affinity towards clubs that have Reggae Boyz on it, right? And cheering them on and wanting them to do well. So, to be honest with you, that's where I am right now, to be honest with you. Seriously.
You're right, Crystal. Big up Crystal Panda one day.
But yeah, he's too calm. He's way too calm to support Arsenal or Man U. No chance. He's too cool for that. No chance.
Yeah. So, Formula, what you feel about the game, man? How you feel about the pressure part will come on if him lose this game? Previous coach win this is he's comfortable in Honduras.
Well, to be honest with you, we never really had a comfortable victory in Honduras, to be honest with you. I mean, we had a poor performance in Honduras. The Hondurans had a good performance. The Hondurans had a way better performance, in my opinion, in the Honduras victory for us than we did against them. I think the problem with Honduras is that even when they do create chances, you know, they really and truly don't, you know, put them in, you know, finish them off and put them in the back of the net. So, but in terms of the run of play though, right, Honduras was the better team in my humble opinion at in the game in Honduras. With this particular game though, me personally, I don't really think Paul Hall is under that much pressure, to be honest with you. I think once we can put together a good performance, right, the only thing for me personally is I don't want a loss. You know, it would look away where Honduras comes to our home and defeats us. And also, Honduras is the only team in the octagonal that does not have a victory. So, you know, if they were to come to our home and beat us, and also it would make me feel good personally for no say, yo, at least one team in the group, at least on paper, it looked as if there's a team in the group that did far worse than us, whereas at least we win a game, them couldn't even win a game. So for me personally, those are the aspects that I look at it from. I don't think Paul Hall is under that much pressure. I think the team has string together a decent performance. I think Paul Hall has shown that he is good enough to get this team playing, you know, decently against similar level opponents at the very least. So I don't think he's under that much pressure to. I don't think it for me personally, it won't affect how I feel about the gaffer unless he has some serious blunders, you know, or unless the team plays really poorly. But apart from that, even if, like, for instance, the game goes like a Costa Rica game where Costa Rica, or even an El Salvador game where it drew but really and truly were the better team, I wouldn't really have any issues with that, to be honest with you. But I do think that I think it's full time that you know, Paul Hall gets a victory. I think it would be good for his tenure so far, because even though me, you know, personally not really put a lot of pressure on him, I know there are a lot of people out there, a lot of naysayers that are saying, yo, what kind of coach this? Right, what? 6-7 games in and him still not win a game, even though I am seeing it differently. But I know there are a lot of naysayers who are saying that Paul Hall still not win a game and him need for win one. So it would be good for him from that perspective, and good moral booster for the team going forward.
Yeah, I would love for him to win. I'm here sitting in my chair. Same time I give Jurgen Club. I'm just going to just watch, observe, get behind the gaffer. Patient is the key. Patient is the key. And I see a lot of good thing, but only thing I want JFF to just allow him to just make him doing job and do it properly. And support him. If you're going to bring the English player them, bring them in the Nation League. Don't wait till Gold Cup, then I bring 15 of them. Make him job easy. If you want a new coaching staff, backroom staff, which I believe he should get, give him it. Get defensive coach, get midfield coach, get better goalkeeper coach, get better video analyst, get everything. Support him, back him. But the next thing, he have to choose. Strongly believe if I'm going to be the Reggae Boyz coach, you have to leave that QPR post, or I'm go a QPR and leave the Reggae Boy. That's my honest opinion. I want a coach where I'm going to have hands-on on this team. So nobody tell him who playing good in the JPL. He know who to pick from, who not to pick. And the dialogue I want him have to have the player them. I know him started already, which we have to give them credit. When a player don't make the team, him pick up the phone. Listen, we're trying something new in this window. We want to give some other player a chance. And we're trying to build in the team. Same thing. I hear him call Anthony Grant. Talk to Anthony Grant and say, listen, it's still in my future. We have the Nation League, we have the Gold Cup. These are the conversations I want my head coach to have. I want when a player like a Shaman Nicholson not doing good in Russia, him pick up the phone. Hey, son, how it is? What's going on? You need to start to find the back of the net. If you're not scoring, if you're not playing well, you're not going to get called up for the national team. And you have to be consistent dialogue with the player them. If you're at QPR, how am I going to get the time to do that, to do QPR job? I don't know if you guys disagree with that or you guys agree with that. You have to choose one, because being a national coach, it comes with a lot of work. And sometimes communication with the player, they most of the time they're not going to have the player. You know? So communicate with them over the phone can help. Send them your book, send them the list, or your philosophy, or your style of play. All of these things, we need him to be a full-time Reggae Boyz coach. What do you feel about Talawa? About Paul Hall? Whether I'm going to keep the job or whatever. What do you think him? What do you think? You want him to be full-time, or you want him to continue with the QPR, getting more experience in QPR? You know, that's an experience environment for him. Can learn more. I mean, too harsh and that.
So I think there's like 2 questions there. Which one should I answer first?
Ooh, I want you to, any one of them you can answer. Any one of them you feel comfortable.
See if I can do both. If I can remember both. The first one is, do I think he should do I think he should do the job on a full-time basis, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's a full-time job. You can't accept a full-time job and do it on a part-time
Part-time.
basis.
Mm.
It doesn't work like that. You're gonna find yourself having to answer to the boys above you. Um, and also, more so, it literally is a full-time job. I remember, I think military can probably relate to this because they both support the same club. I remember when there was this slight disagreement between Arsene Wenger and Thierry Henry. Henry wanted to do his work at Sky Sports and also coach at Arsenal. And the rumor that was going around at the time was that Arsene Wenger said, no, you can either be a coach at Arsenal or you can go and work at Sky Sports. And you can think it's a slightly different position that
Paul
finds himself in, but essentially it's kind of like you're pushing along the same lines in the sense that you have to be solely committed to one, especially coaching for me is a full-time job. It's a full-time job. I don't see how he could manage his work at Queen's Park Rangers and get his maximum potential as the full-time Reggae Boyz coach. Also, like I was saying over on coach's desk as well, there's so many different layers, so many different baggage that comes with being the full-time coach. So quite like what you touched on in terms of getting his own players, whose job is that? It can't just be down to Paul Hall to scout his own players. Scouting and managing is two different things. You can identify a player, but after you identify the player, you need the scout to go out there and watch the player play more than one game, more than two games, and then report back to you. Paul Hall doesn't have the time on his hands. There's not enough time in 24 hours for him to do that to a applaudable standard. So you're right. He will need to get his own team. He needs to get his own scout. He needs to get his own backroom staff. Quite similar to what military was saying. He needs a psychologist. If there is a psychologist there as already, by all means, continue to work with them. I think your psychologist and your video analysis of the backroom staff, those guys can stay because they are workable. You can work with them. But in terms of getting your scout and your assistant, that definitely needs a shake up, because at this point we're saying out with the old and in with the new. So that should be a complete strip everything down, knock everything down, and go again. So yeah, I do think if he's taking the job, then surely it has to be you operating on a full-time basis. I forgot your second question. What was your second question?
Remember you answered the two of them, sis.
Really?
Yeah. So they give a short answer because you say if me kind of messed up or me that answer or me ask the question. So you basically answer the one. No, yeah. But I ask if him for choose, because some people don't know the comment section. Saying him feel a little bit selfish for him to choose because he's a young coach at QPR. I don't know.
I think it's probably coming to he probably wants to see how much does he's made no secrets to say that he wants the job on a full-time basis. He said that.
Reggae Boyz.
Yeah, he's spoken about that in press conferences. Like and even without him speaking about it, it wouldn't make sense for you to put yourself forward as the interim head coach of the Reggae Boyz, knowing how rotten we are from top to bottom, and then push yourself to the side. Why are you going to put yourself in the firing line? Because you know what that comes with. People going to be throwing rocks at you left, right, and center. It doesn't make sense for you to put such a mental strain on yourself and then say, actually, let me lay down the foundation and give it to someone else. Why would he do that? He said it himself. He's reiterated that I'm either going to lay down the foundation for myself or lay down the foundation for someone else. So I think the cards or the next play is over to JFF. Do you want me? How bad do you want me? What does that look like? Because now it's all well and good with him putting pen to paper, but before he can put pen to paper, he has to read through the contracts. And we know these contracts can be a little bit cunning at times. So he has to say, does this suit my requirements? Is it good for me and also my family as well? Where am I going to be living? Am I going to have an extra room or two extra room in case my boys want to come over and spend a couple months with me, and so on? So everything has to make sense for Paul Hall as well and his family. It's not just a case of him saying, I'm going to take it just for me. That would be a selfish approach. It has to benefit Paul Hall, his family, because that's the only way you're going to get the best out of Paul Hall anyways. You can't just put him in a little B&B or bed and breakfast or a little hotel room, a bit similar to what we've seen other managers have to do across the world, and say, get the best, go on and perform at your best, because he's not going to be at his best. You have to put him in a position where everything makes sense, excluding the financial elements. He has to be comfortable. So I think maybe that's what they're trying to.
Right, I know that trouble. Sorry, Crystal. Sorry, Crystal. Mr. Ramsey come and start laughing. No, sorry, Crystal. Sorry to interrupt.
I feel offended being labeled a thorn, you know. Seriously.
Mr. Ramsey, Mr. to the boy I feel done. Boy I feel you know.
So
continue, Crystal.
it's okay. So yeah, that's how I was saying that there's maybe the reason why, you know, stuff hasn't even been announced yet. I don't know if he's already put pen to paper, but I should think there's so many things that he needs to weigh up. And also, adding to transparency, it would be nice at club level. We often hear that ex-manager is linked to the job, or B manager is linked. We want to know who else is linked to the job. Like, it can't be a case of nobody is interested in managing the Reggae Boyz. We want to know, is it a case of Paul Hall is the old man that's put himself forward? If that is the case, fair play to Paul Hall. For you to achieve maximum potential, the confidence starts from yourself. So it's great to know that Paul Hall is confident in himself, hence the reason why he's put himself forward. But you want to know the rest of the CV, the rest of the applications, who put themselves forward. Because when things do get tough, and it will get tough, and when we run into brick walls and we start having a go at each other, people inevitably going to gravitate back to the first point in the point in saying that who else wanted the job, or did JFF not have any other alternatives to work with? So yeah, it would be nice to see to hear, aside from the gaffer, the current gaffer, also who wanted the job, and also why the Jamaica Federation felt that they weren't up to standard.
Okay, fair enough. Military.
All right.
Will you give me an honest opinion, brother, on this situation? Because if you put Paul Hall in a 5-bedroom, wife, lot of money, you know, where you take on it?
All right. So this is something I'm going to say. People are going to look on it. People are going to disagree with it. But first of all, may I say, I have no problem with him keeping the 2 jobs. One at QPR and also as the head coach of the Reggae Boyz team. Now, listen to my reason for that. How many international games play during the year? You have selective times of the year where you have international games being played, either friendly, World Cup. It's selective. No. What would you like your coach to be doing in the off season? Let's listen. People would say they would want the coach to do scouting, all these aspects, all these small things during the off season. Go on looking at other players. More so, if you have a coach who is actually active during the off season, off international break, coaching some teams, learning, still fine-tuning his trade, keeping himself active, keeping his mind sharp, so that when he meets up on the boys on any international window, he knows what to look for. He already has his own style, playing style, that he has probably implement that playing style at his club as well. So when he's up with the boys, though, we can say, okay, this is what I'm looking for as well. And he can use that identity throughout the clubs that he's coaching, and also the national setup. So when he's at the club, he can master it. He can take the time out at the club level to master that philosophy. Because remember, each time he meets with the national setup, it's some one-off basis. 3 games in 1 week, 2 games in 2 days, in 1 week. Maximum Gold Cup campaign, you have 3 weeks or 4 weeks to play in like 9 games. That's maximum. But what about the training session? If you cannot instill the training session, at least during the time period of coaching other team, you're going to find all these type of tweaks how to implement your system and impart that knowledge on players who don't even have a general knowledge of that. So you will learn a lot more via coaching. You learn a lot more via being a manager over a team. So when you're doing that, and for example, I believe that Tapa Whitmore would have been a far better manager if he was consistently coaching a team in the JPL. So he knows in-game management. He knows when the game is turning. He knows when time the the opposition team is making a tactical a movement. For example, like last night, I was watching the JPL. I was at the JPL game, the Monday Night Football. Arnett was playing some good football, really good football. They were putting Waterhouse to the knife, ripping Waterhouse apart. In the second half, I realized that Waterhouse added an extra midfielder. That's what I saw. When I did the post-match interview with the coach, that is Marcel Gill, the under 20 coach, he said that the gap between, in the first half, the gap between the defense, the attack, and the midfield was too wide. It was too wide. So in the second half, all he did was adjusted the gap, and he pulled the center forward because the center forward was not holding onto the ball, which caused the ball to come back to them as to their defense quick, too fast. So he pulled the center forward, put a center forward who actually can hold up the ball. So even when the defense cleared the ball out, the center forward can chuck the ball into the corner post and hold on to the ball and force and give time and space for his team to come out of the defensive zone. So I'm looking at that and said, okay, so this one is a man who's coaching. This one is a man who's thinking throughout the game. Right throughout the game, he's thinking. He's making adjustments. He's doing the right stuff. Even though he lost, not going to take away, but the mere fact that he see where he's losing the game and he makes the necessary adjustment to that. He gained back control in the second half, could have equalized. It's just down to poor finishing. But he saw what's wrong and he adjusted to what's wrong and he fixed it. Now, if this man was only coaching a team, like in 1 year, he only coached like 5 games in 1 year. What can he learn as a coach during that 5 games? Moreover, you have a coach who played like 60 games in that 1 year. You know how much that coach can learn versus the one that played the 5 games?
But military, why you change the goalpost with international coach? Which country have a coach, a club team and an international team?
All right, so it's not a case in which he's a developmental coach at the youth level. So it's not a case in which he's in high intensity coaching background. If that is the case, that means we should get a coach who has passed through the series of coaching exercise then, and just no bother with this. That is the case.
We need him as the coach, brother. Part-time not gonna help with. It not.
I understand that aspect of it, but I don't see nothing wrong with it. I don't see nothing wrong with it. You can say nobody else not do it, but it doesn't mean that it never happened before. It has never happened, or it won't happen. But I do think that there's an option for it.
Formula, you agree or you disagree?
only military could make a point that goes against the grain and almost pull it off. Only military. To be fair to military, it's a good point that he raises, right? I can't knock him point, to be honest with you. It's a decent point, one that deserves to be explored. But for me personally, I disagree with military, and I would go as far as saying this: if Paul Hall tries to balance, what is taking place, what he has going on at QPR with what is going on out here going forward, I really and truly don't think he'll be successful as our national head coach, right? Even as far as what just on the basis of what is taking place on the pitch alone, right? And I'll explain that further. I'll expound on that further. But also, I really and truly am very optimistic about Paul Hall coming on board with us because of the work that he can do to really and truly develop a proper footballing structure in the country, right? Not just to manage or be the coach of the national team, right? But work with all our respective stakeholders to really and truly implement change. He has already started to allude to that. And based on what he is saying in interviews, etc., it seems as if that's where his headspace is and that's where his focus is. So it's almost sort of like a Jurgen Klinsmann role that Klinsmann had with the American national team. Now, definitely that is something that he will have to do on a full-time basis. You can't do something like that and do it effectively on a part-time basis. I also think that I'm not saying that he couldn't do a decent job with the national team balancing both in terms of what is taking place on the field, but I think it would be a lot. And I think he himself would be under a lot of pressure to pull that off, right? And it might be a little bit too much and have a negative impact on him. Also, I think from the standpoint of just being able to achieve his full potential as a national team coach. Remember, this is a man that has never been a head coach previously. He has never done it before. So I think that in order to achieve his full potential, he needs to come on board full time. We're talking about, watching as many players, the performance of as many Reggae Boyz as possible on a week in, week out basis, right? To have a firm grasp as to who is doing what at club level and the value that everyone can add to the national team, right? I think that one of the things kind of beating Paula right now is that he's still learning about the players that, whether the ones in the JPL or whether the ones overseas, right? He's still learning. And also, our national program is in such disarray that I really and truly don't think a man could do this part-time and really put this back together, because I think he really and truly has a huge uphill task in getting this train, going in the right direction. Is a massive uphill task. Yes, is not any little fenke task this man have in trying to resuscitate Jamaica's football. And I think because of the size of the task that he has at hand, I think it would be best for him to be diverting all his respective energy to be able to fixing Jamaica's football.
Which job bigger, QPR or Jamaica Devon Porter? And then go ahead, cause seems as you want to talk about Paula. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, gentlemen and lady.
Good evening, Sir Porter.
Mr. Porter.
I was listening, and I kind of understand what you guys are saying, that he can't juggle the two jobs. But in this world of football, it would be good to have him here full time. But if he has a job at Queen's Park and he's filling in also as a Jamaica coach, you guys have to remember, does he have assistant coaches? Yes.
Yes,
he has assistant coaches. Whatever knowledge he imparts with his assistant coaches, I think they should be knowledgeable and qualified enough to carry out the job at hand, whatever system he wants to implement. Then the assistant coach will be capable enough to do that job. And when he comes in, if he's going to come in every quarter, or if he's going to come in every 2 months and to see what's going on, have maybe 1 week camps with the team. But I think that the national team needs to be training at all times. When they're not with their clubs, they're supposed to be in camp, because we have to build a formidable unit going forward. In terms of him taking the job full time, that he's going to be living in Jamaica, and it might be a very touchy situation in terms of is the federation has the money to pay him to stay in Jamaica full time. You guys have to remember that. The federation is strapped for cash. we are not the United States or the Canadas or that has the money to put into the program. But whatever we have to do with. But we still can build a good team going forward. And I think the assistant coaches can do the job that he wants them to do. So I don't see the reason for him to be in Jamaica full time. He can come in every 3 months. He can come in every 4 months. Oversee what's going on to see if it's going in the right direction. And I mean, this is the 21st century, gentlemen. We have video technology. They can video the training. You will watch the training. Whatever is going wrong and whatever is going right, he will point it out to them. They have an analyst and all those things. I think we will be fine going forward. I think we will be fine because he wants to build a unit. He has to look at players. He has a year and a half to implement what he needs, style of play. And then within the first 2 years, the qualifiers is going to start. So within a year and a half, he needs to know who is in, who is out. And I think he is a no-nonsense type of coach. Listen, you can't kid around with him. I have a conversation with him. And this man knows what he wants. He knows what he's about. And I think he will do well.
Boy.
Coach Porter, I can ask you a question, Sir Porter.
Go ahead.
Do you think that there is the possibility of burnout could arise, right? Because from what I understand, he is the head of development at QPR. So it looks like everything when it comes to the academy. So it looks like him running everything basically when it comes to the development aspect of the club that is Queen's Park Rangers. So the youth academies, everything, it looked like he is the man, running everything.
When you said burnout could arise, what do you mean? I need you to elaborate on that.
In terms of for him to be juggling both, right? Both that in and of themselves are full-time jobs. Let's say for instance he could find the time, miraculously in my opinion, find the time. Right? Even though we don't know all of the respective functions that he has.
Okay.
At QPR.
I'm gonna stop you.
Hold on, supporter. Even though we don't know all of the respective functions that he has at QPR, right? We still have some idea as to how. It's a full-time job, right? So my thing is that doing both, Sir Porter, right? Even if he miraculously find the time to squeeze in both, right? He would be. When will he have time to rest? When will he have time to, spend time with his family? When would he have time to basically, recharge his batteries, so to speak? It would just either be QPR or, Jamaica football, just constantly. Could that lead to burnout?
No. Let me explain this to you. Queen's Park Rangers has one of the best youth setup in all of UK. Okay? Do you think, even though he's in charge, it's him alone? Don't you think that they have competent people who is his assistants? It might be 2 or 3 of them or 4 of them. Listen, this man is well trained. He have played professional football and he knows how to go about his duties. And I think he will be fine. As I said before, he does not need to be in Jamaica 24/7. If he does not think that the assistant coaches are good enough, then he will make that decision to say, am I going to fire them and get more competent assistant coaches? Yes, he will. You got to remember, if he takes charge, he is going to be the head coach of this national senior team. That means that the junior teams, all those coaches work for him. You might think they don't work for him because he is the top team, he's the pinnacle. So all those coaches down the bottom works for him. So whatever he implements at the top will trickle down to all the teams. So he must have capable and enough people in Jamaica as his assistant. He does not need to be there.
Sir Porter, I agree, he does not necessarily need to be here, Sir Porter, right? But me personally, regardless of how much help he has at QPR and how much competent personnel he has at QPR, right? It is still a full-time job, and running the entire development section of a club, even if you have competent people to assist you, it must be a full-time job with a ton load of responsibilities. I just can't see him managing a national program in complete disarray, doing what he says he wants to do, impacting the program how he says he wants to impact it in terms of not only on the pitch but the overall structure of our program. That in and of itself is a mammoth task, Sir Porter.
And formula. This is why.
Mr. Porter, before you answer that one, let me just chime in on what Formula said because it goes hand in hand. Sir Porter, adding to what Formula said in terms of responsibility, say, for example, the gaffer, Paul Hall, find himself in a position where you've got Daniel Green, sending him trying to get through to him. It's obvious that it's an emergency, can't get through to Paul Hall. At the very same time, you have someone at Queen's Park Rangers, similar age to Daniel Green, trying to get through to Paul Hall. It's an emergency. Who do you turn your attention to as a matter of priority? Who do you prioritize?
That's why you have managers, CEOs, directors.
No, but they want to speak to Paul Hall. They want, because they found a bond with Paul Hall. And part of his role, with all due respect.
Put it this way. Every time I pick up my phone and I call this gentleman, he answers. So his phone line is open to all his players. And I'm pretty much sure if Daniel wants to get in touch with him or any other player wants to get in touch with him, they will get in touch with him.
But we're talking about as a matter of emergency. If it's a matter of emergency, both players are saying to you that they want to speak to you right here, right now. Who do you turn your attention to? How do you weigh your priority?
They pick up the phone and they call him.
Yeah, but he has to speak to one player at a time. So who is he going to turn his attention to as a matter of priority?
Well, listen, you have to prioritize.
Exactly. So who does he prioritize? Does he go for QPR or does he go for Jamaica? Because the priority has to be brought into play. He has to turn his attention to someone. It's an emergency.
Well, I'm gonna say this. You have to look at the two situations and say which is more important. Which one should I deal with first now, or which is secondary? Okay, and balance those two. And I think he will. I think he can.
And by doing that, it's inevitable that he's going to cause an upset. It's inevitable because if player B finds out that you call player A in Jamaica,
and guess what? I would say until that comes about, then he has to just go about his duties.
Sir Porter, you're wearing your body armor tonight, so you're standing firm. I like it.
But my thing is, right? My thing is, and don't get me wrong, I understand what Sir Porter is saying, right? But my thing is that, let's say, for instance, in his interviews recently, it was pretty clear to me that Paul Hall wanted to see the JPL, but up until that point had not seen the JPL. When he was after the game, when he was talking the other day, You know, he was saying that he went to the JPL games and he liked what he saw. It was clear to me that he was not very versed in the JPL. It wasn't something that he was watching on a regular basis, right? So, and my thing is that he has been in the job for months now, but he has been doing it part-time, right? How is he going to watch all that football, right? And Sir Porter talk about the assistant staff.
Family, he doesn't need to watch all the games.
But I
He
don't
has assistant. He has assistant
But
coaches.
Sir Porter, that's where you lose me now, you know, Sir Porter.
No, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Do you guys hold on? Do you guys understand?
With the
Hold
greatest
on.
of
Do you
respect,
guys
you know about
understand
him.
how? Do you guys understand how our football team is operated? He
I have
has
some
assistant
idea.
coaches. So
Yeah,
his
but Sir
assistant
Porter,
coaches have to go to some of the games and they have to
Sir
balance it
Porter.
out. He will go to some and they have to balance it out. You can't say, listen, you can't say you don't know about Marian Garden. You have to give the coaches their dues. You can't listen. How do you know that Klopp was gonna be a great coach? How do you know that the better German from Chelsea was gonna be a great coach if you don't give him his chances?
But Sir
So
So
Porter,
you have to give
Sir
him that
Porter.
respect.
But
Listen, you have
yes,
to give him that respect. You have to give Coach Marian Garden that respect
I am not
to say
disrespecting
he's
no Sir
capable
Porter.
enough. But you just cast an assertion says you don't know
That's not
about him, and I
that's
think
not
that's
what I'm
wrong.
saying.
It's a wrong
Sir
statement.
Porter, Sir Porter, remember, you know, Marian Garden is new to being a national assistant coach. He has never done it at anywhere near this level previously.
You know
Right?
that, and how is he gonna learn? And how is he gonna learn if you don't
Yeah,
give
and I
him the
don't have any
chances?
issues with him learning, but I'd much
So
rather if all on a Sir Porter,
let me tell you
I
what
will
the
all on
stigma
a Sir
is.
Porter.
Let me
Give me a
tell you
chance
what.
to Sir
No, I'm
Sir
gonna
Porter.
tell
You
you.
ask me a
But
question in a Sir Porter. Let me
yeah, but
answer
I
the
want
question
to
and then you go.
make this clear before you go further. The
Mhm.
stigma is because he's a local coach.
No, Sir Porter. All right. Let me say this, Sir Porter. Let me say this, right? I am not saying that Marian Garden shouldn't get a chance to prove himself, you know. And I'm not, of course, I know that he's going to learn by being in the job and being on the job, right? So I get that, right? I totally get that. I'm fine with that. What I am saying is that he has never done anything near what the term, right? The gravitas of what he's about to take on. I would feel a lot better if Paul Hall was there holding his hand and guiding him and showing him the ropes versus just a game task for complete on his own.
Listen, he's not giving him tasks to complete on his own. Whatever Paul Hall give him to do, he's a B-level coach. He is capable. That's why he's an assistant coach. Okay, this is not somebody who you just take up off the street. I think he's qualified enough and understand enough football and coach enough football. If you don't give somebody a chance to work and learn on their job, how are they going to be a good or great coach? You have to.
Sir Porter, I agree with you. Sir Porter, I agree with you, you know. Give him the
Yeah, but
chance. But I want Paul
why are
there
you
holding his
saying, hold
hand.
on, then why are you saying, listen, isn't he a B-level coach? Isn't he a
Is it,
well-proven coach in Jamaica? He doesn't
hasn't
need to
he
hold his
hasn't
hand.
he hasn't he
He
only
does not
coached in
need,
high school, Sir Porter? That's
he
where I
does
know
not
him
need,
from. Have him say a high school coach, Porter. I'm not saying he doesn't have potential, but the experience is not there. It would be best if Paul was there holding his hand.
Agree with Formula. Porter, may I ask you?
okay, let me say something. Let me say something. If the Jamaica public wants him there to be the full time and live in Jamaica, the Jamaica public, and I'm gonna call out the private sector need to do the right thing. Okay, put the money up to pay the coach
You know how much he might get?
So the,
he might get
the
more
coach
than
can,
Tapa, you know.
listen, I don't care.
Bro, he might get
don't
more
care.
than Tapa now.
Listen to me, Ryan. I don't get involved in those things. Okay?
No,
I
me
don't
tell you
care.
he might get more than Tapa.
Ryan, listen to me. That's a private matter.
Oh, it should be
That
a
is,
private. It's a public matter. What you mean?
no, it's not. It's a private matter. Somebody's salary.
Can't be private, Porter.
Ryan,
Coaching national team.
Ryan, do you know how to operate a company? My salary that I get paid from the city of Toronto is a private matter. It's between me and them. Okay, whatever they're paying him is between him and the JFF. Okay? I don't want to know anything about that. I don't care about that. Listen, he could be getting $1 million a day. It's not my concern. Okay? So I don't discuss people's salary. Okay? I think whatever he gets paid at, he warrants it because of his qualification. So it's a private matter, and I don't want to get involved in that.
You can move on, you know. But it's
not. We'll move on from that because I don't want to get involved with that.
Well, on a Porter,
can I just say this?
Porter, but it's not a private matter. Knowing Paula's salary is not a private matter, Porter.
It's a private matter.
But if you want to don't touch that, fine.
Okay, let me ask you a question. The negotiation, is it the negotiation between Jamaica and Paul Hall, or it's a federation and Paul Hall negotiation? If you say it's Jamaica, then I say it's a public matter. If you say it's the federation and Paul Hall, I say it's a private matter.
The thing, Mr. Porter, I think what Ryan is trying to say is if we're looking at ordinary 9-to-5s, so ordinary 9-to-5s that myself and the guys on the panel do, then of course I don't want people in the public knowing my salary, and my colleagues shouldn't know my salary. And if they find out, then obviously you have to talk to your line manager, your CEO, HR, whoever. But when we're looking at football and we're looking at sports, it's not a private matter. We know about footballers and their wages. Equally as for managers and head coaches, we always know how much they're getting paid. It's in the newspapers like every single year. When we've got summer transfer windows, it's there. Winter transfer windows, it's there. It can't be a public matter. It's never been a public matter.
Well, regardless of the fact, I don't want to discuss salary. I think. Listen, I don't want to, Ryan, I don't want to discuss it.
Just say, Ryan, you know, say, we don't really want to touch his salary. But I just remind you and let you know that it's not a private matter. This man coaching the national team. You go on any website, they see how much national team coach I get. Go on.
Yeah, I can tell you with a quick Google search how much Gareth Southgate makes.
Yes,
and
Porter. But
those are true figures.
But if I'm not mistaken, doing a Porter, the policy of the JFF, you know, if I'm not mistaken, the policy of the, correct me. By the way, from what I understand from Fresh God is saying Meron coached at Humberline as well. So I stand corrected, right? I don't remember him at Humberline, but that's fine. You know, Fresh God is far more learned in the football than I am. My thing is that I remember it being stated that the policy of the JFF was that when it's a local coach, they don't disclose. But when it's an overseas coach, they disclose. I remember that being the you know.
So what's the difference? What is the difference?
Maybe Badmine
is born out here, and yeah, they're saying that it puts the local coach like a tapper in a bit of a sticky situation in terms of people knowing, you know, exactly or having an idea of how much he earns.
Yeah, danger comes.
Let me tell you what I would want to.
All get better. It's not simple, brother.
No, and I don't want to know. Ryan. What I would like to say, if the Jamaica public wants him, the fans want him there 24/7 is to plead to the private sector of Jamaica, okay? The private sector organization, PSOA, to put up money for the coach to be there 24/7, oversee the national team and go about his national duties.
How about the JFF
on that note,
together so them can attract the sponsorship, Coach Porter? That sounds a little better to me. Yes,
100%.
Pamela, do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Do me a favor. You're in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
Go up to the JFF in New Kingston. Sit them down and talk to them. They will listen to you of how to go about and get sponsorship for the program. They will listen to you, you know.
You
Take
think
the
so?
lead hand. Oh yeah, they will listen to you. Obviously, they will listen to you. What do you think they're barbarians? They will listen to you. They will sit down and listen to you. I kid you not.
I don't know. Look, I definitely don't think the JFF would be, putting much emphasis or, giving much thought to what I say about how to attract sponsorship.
I am a football man. I don't get involved in those things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
everybody you want to know much stuff like that.
And truth be told, I don't profess to be an expert.
I never want to know, Ryan. I never want to know somebody's salary.
Sir,
not my prerogative.
Ask a question.
I was saying that I don't profess to be an expert in on how to get sponsorship, right? So I don't think I would be the best individual to be able to lecture the JFF as to how to do that. But what I'm saying is that I have enough sense to realize that they don't know what they're doing either.
And guess what? I'm not getting involved in anything like that myself.
I suspect.
I can't. Who am I?
No.
Who am I? Because guess what? Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan, when I speak, I don't speak off the top of my head. If I don't know, I don't say. Listen, my grandfather have a foolish thing that he said otherwise. If a fish never opened his mouth, he wouldn't get caught. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know anything about that. I don't know. They're running our federation. What you want me to do? What you want me to say? Say something that I don't know to implicate myself? For what reason? I am not like that, Ryan. If I don't know, I don't speak on that subject. And that word, I just reached my training, so I'm gonna get my team prepared and ready to train. We'll talk next time. Gentlemen and ladies, have a good night.
Sir Porter, have a lovely evening.
Hold on, just 30 seconds. Will you give Paula the job? Yes or no?
Yes, obviously I will.
All right, thanks, Stan.
Okay.
What I would say is that I know enough. What I do know is that the Jamaica Football Federation was trying to raise money. If I remember right, it was the Pan Am Games after the Reggae Girls qualified for the FIFA World Cup.
Don't remind me.
What I do know is that they were trying for a very long time to raise the 45,000 US and they couldn't do it. What I also know is that in no time Sidela Marley stepped in and raised the $45,000 on one condition. Right? So I know enough to know that the JFF, there's clearly something wrong when it comes to attracting and garnering sponsorship. I don't have to be an expert in in garnering sponsorship to know that. Right? So
I put it easy.
Sir Porter has to be diplomatic. Right? And I totally understand.
Yeah.
I totally understand. We can be a little bit more straightforward, but So report has to be deployed.
Why formula? Me agree with you. Me agree. Tala, what you think? What you think? You make him, or you just want him to be the full time?
My dream would be for him to be full-time here, full-time, because like we said, it is a full-time job. Like he's already in the unknown, but it gets a little bit more, maybe more complex for him, a little bit more difficult as time progress. And I just think that we're going to get the best out of him if he's just solely able to focus on one job. I'm not saying committed to one job, just focus. His full attention is just on one job, because it's going to be difficult. How do you weigh up why can I hear myself? Not sure why I can hear myself, but how do you weigh up priority versus priority? Do you overcommit? How do you get the balance right? How long is it going to take you to get the balance right? The balance in terms of your commitment for Jamaica and your commitment for Queen's Park Rangers as well. Because if we're looking at both of their employers, both of his employers will want to get the best out of him. So automatically he has to get that balance right. And that's difficult. That's not an easy task. Like he's got two difficult tasks on his hands. I don't see it as him being hired on full-time basis, but essentially it's part-time. And also just backtracking where we spoke about scouting, and I think it might have been Formula that said, or maybe it was Sir Porter that said his number 2 can do the scouting, but essentially the person who should have final say is going to be the gaffer, is going to be Paul Hall, and I trust he wants to see that live in the flesh. Now imagine if Queen's Park Rangers has a game on that same very day or that same very weekend. He can't fly out to Jamaica, or he can't fly out elsewhere in Europe. He can't go to Asia. He can't go to Africa. So to me, it's just like you're leaving yourself shackled down, which basically means you're limited to how you can maneuver. You can't maneuver at your own pace. You have to maneuver at the pace of Queen's Park Rangers and at the pace of the Reggae Boyz as well. So I would prefer if he did actually just say yes. It's 100% Jamaica, which is actually quite. There's some humor there, because in his press conference, it's just come to mind in his press conference. He actually did say that for the players, he wants it to be Jamaica over everything. So does that apply for Coach Hall as well? Jamaica over everything, meaning there's no distractions there. So there's a little bit of humor there, but I wish him the very best of luck. But I would prefer if he just belongs to Jamaica and not QPR. Big up QPR, by the way, because they're an excellent club. No hatred or dislike for Queen's Park.
Yeah. To piggyback on what Crystal is saying, me personally, Crystal raised a very good point about seeing the players perform for himself. That is very important. Meran got. You see, the thing about football, it is open to interpretation, right? So he might have Meran Garden, who might be very capable of doing the job at this level, right? Not saying that Meran hasn't done his thing in Jamaican football, but this is next level. But my thing is that football is open to interpretation, and what Meran Gordon sees, if Paul Hall were to look at it, he might see something different.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, and then you have to bear in mind the different level of expertise. In terms of Paul Hall is a pro license coach. Meran, from what I understand, if I'm not mistaken, is a B license coach. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong again, but that's my understanding of the matter. And also, Paul Hall has participated in a arguably world-class development structure. Right? So his expertise when it comes to scouting and analyzing players, etc., with the greatest of respect to his assistants, might be next level. So again, he might pick up on things that they might not pick up on, right? And it might lengthen the process of making a determination as to who exactly the gaffer wants to settle on, right? If he were to delegate, the scouting responsibilities for the national team. And also, we cannot forget this, and I'm going to say this, and we cannot forget this. We have to bear in mind, too, that there are a lot of question marks from the outside looking in, as to player selection for the national team. And I don't know what me I talk about. All sort of allegations of, everybody I try squeezing them players, so to speak. Right? We all know the allegation. We not forgot deep in. No, I'm not saying that is actually the case, right? But I'm saying, there are questions that have been raised from time to time, even by people who are within the footballing fraternity when it comes to player selection, and is it done in an ethical manner, right? So with that being said, certain individuals are more entangled in the Jamaican footballing fraternity, right? And I would think are more easily persuaded, if you understand what I'm saying, right? One, it's not their reputation that is on the line. It is Paul Hall's reputation that is on the line. So he would be less persuaded for going with foolishness and actually go about doing the thing the right way. Added to the fact that he played for the national team, but he's really and truly within the context of the Jamaican footballing fraternity and outsider. Right? So for those two reasons, he's obviously not as easily persuaded as other individuals might be. With that being said, again, for me personally, I think it is of paramount importance that Paul Hall is watching all the players. We have literally hundreds of players that are either professionals, Jamaican-born players who have them documents right now to play for Jamaica, who are either professionals, or who are even hundreds more that are eligible to play for Jamaica. Right throughout you have players, literally, you have players in Belgium that are eligible to play for Jamaica, right? Feyenoord, Rotterdam has a right back eligible to play for Jamaica, right? You have players all over the place that are eligible.
Japan as well.
Of them. He needs all the time he can get to really and truly be able to properly scout and properly analyze the value that respective players can bring to his national program. Also, he need to watch the JPL as well to since in plan and integrating these players into the national setup, which I personally think is a bad idea. And I think it's only a matter of time before him realize that. Seeing? So I think I don't see how it is possible for him to really and truly balance being head of the development at QPR, which is a full-time job in and of itself, and balancing the Jamaica national team, which is a full-time arms house in and of itself.
Right, brother. So, Paul, I don't know, him probably contract with QPR. So, if we want him to be full-time, as a fresh guy, I said, if we have the money to pay QPR, how much that will be? Because, when you take other people coach, you have to pay them off. You have to pay them a look money. Is the JFF have them pound if you pay? Plus, give him what he need, plus when family going to need. Italawa?
Well, if they can't afford that, then they seek for an alternative. They have to stop getting cop-out, stop searching for a cop-out. You're either going to back your chat or you're going to be half-hearted about it. And we've been half-hearted so many times before. When you're half-hearted, it's difficult for you to execute your plan. Paul Hall is speaking about a succession plan. So you don't have time for people to be half-hearted. You have to just go full 100. Everybody has to be willing to give 110% at all times. And again, I would add emphasis to the federation, trickle that down to the coaching setup. Obviously, Paul Hall as the gaffer, down to the players, and then subsequently the 12 man as well. So they don't have time to be half-hearted. If they don't think that they can afford Paul Hall, then you move on. You move on.
Boy, let the Reggae Boyz fans out to go break. I believe that too. If you can't afford him, leave him. But take the man out time, good job. And
Exactly. And it's Ryan, when I'm saying like afford him as well, I'm not just talking about financial backing. I'm talking about giving him all the tools. I'm not just talking about his salary. All the tools. If you cannot afford to stand by him side by side and give him the tools for success, leave him alone. Do not try to tarnish another ex-Reggae Boyz legacy. Do not try to tarnish his legacy, because formula is right. That's what it will inevitably come down to. And football fans, like their patience is very thin. They don't care about whether you went to the World Cup. They don't care if you're a history maker. Some of them, their temper is just extremely short. We saw what happened with Tapper. Do you want the same thing to happen to Paul Hall as well? I take it that they don't. So you have to stand by him side by side. You have to give him the appropriate tool for success. It's not just about salary that we're talking about here. It's about taking off the shackles, removing the shackles that was there under the previous gaffer, and saying we're doing things different. This is not a new chapter. This is a new book. So, but with that being said, Paul Hall is now the man who's in charge of recruitment. So he goes out and he selects his players, or his team selects his players. It's not the job of the Football Federation, and so on. So you have to back him wholeheartedly. You can't just back him and, say call it 50% or 60%, whatever way you want to look at it, and call it a day. That's not going to work. He needs to be backed fully.
And I don't want me to hear kind of mess up the man career. He's
exactly.
a young coach, have a big future ahead of him. Brother, you know what it's take to be a head in a big football club in England, especially in London. Pamela. And a joke thing that in a big job the man have, I know nobody think of some could scribble job the man have a big job. And for you see the man get that job, they must know the education we have. Because them people there, them are a fool. Them not like a fool for run them thing.
Yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is that, to be the head of QPR's development, you must be a pretty learned individual to pull off something like that. J-Boss, I never said QPR is a world-class structure. I said they have a world-class development structure, which is a different thing entirely. And when you look at the amount of players that they have produced that have gone on to become professional,
successful,
you would understand why I say that, J-Boss. So I am not dumb. Right?
Tennessee.
The man, them not even on the right.
You know, say man, them know on the right for the name Reggae Boyz.
Oh God.
And say the money, the jersey we have behind it, tell Umbre, this jersey, you have a third party I get some of the money. Because the JFF, we understand, JFF, we own it and it expire. And me register my name for 1 year. See? And then when you register it, them tell you say, them give you 2 months. Them give you 2 months notify and say, listen, the first month we're gonna notify, and the second month, if you redo it back over again, we're going to, if somebody come and want it,
Yeah.
up for sale. And so it's like something like that happened to JFF. But somebody had do the research to me, and I me do the research, see? And the person had do the research because we're supposed to get a 4-year deal with Adidas. See?
Yeah.
After this World Cup qualifier campaign, I think the Umbre deal run out in the World Cup qualifier campaign. So JFF I feel pay a third party out of the jersey and worse again. I don't know how the jersey deal structure, how much money them I get. If every merchandise them sell with a Reggae Boyz, when name the on it, them get 10 or Liverpool get 20% off of every merchandise where Adi Nike sell with Liverpool name on it. So I don't know how them structure it. But for them not to own the name and when we do the research, realize there's a company in Germany, in a Belgium, own the copyright for the Reggae Boyz. And the company, the response for a whole heap of big thing all over the world. Realize it, that the person who own it linked to us, the JFF. So when you know, you really are going to it. But yeah.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know enough to talk about that, but it could be a case to Ryan that you can own respective, so you can own a trademark in one respective jurisdiction, but you don't own it in another jurisdiction. So I don't know whether in what jurisdiction or if at all they do own.
Yeah, but if a big company like football, if a big name like Reggae Boyz, that's because what happens still, you're right. Because on my thing, worldwide. So nobody can buy Ryan LFC worldwide. So the JFF should have known say you are worldwide them a buy, not in the region alone.
It depends. I mean, as I said, I don't want to talk about this because I don't really have the requisite knowledge. But you can go through WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, I think is what it's called. They have a number of different signatories right across the world. So when you register a trademark with them, it automatically is registered in a you own that trademark in like a number, like in over 100 respective jurisdictions right across the world. So I really don't know what's the situation, but I do know that there seems to be an issue where that is concerned from what I've heard from credible individuals who have some experience where that is concerned.
Okay, fair enough. But tell her, you make a good point where you make me looking at myself, good I think they would coach with more and thing, and then for put a nigga Reggae Boyz like that, cause you know the Jamaican fan. Me tell myself, say, yo, you see, same time when club say 4 year, I just relax, understand where we at the time, understand that man, you all of these big teams. I mean, understand that Canada right now above us, America, Costa Rica, Mexico. I'm just a humble and I see how the process will go. But at the same time, as we say, you have to back him 100%. If you want backroom staff, anything you want, if you want to take this job full time, because me think if him come coach Jamaica, I believe him can get a next big job in England. That is not a doubt. Yeah, on him resume, he can get a big job, but it's going to depend on what happen in Jamaica, because that can tarnish your legacy. And probably work out good, you get bigger and bigger.
Is in a interesting position right now, because if we look up and down the English Football League, the only managers, prolific dark skin managers there is our very own Darren Moore and Patrick Vieira at Crystal Palace. Doesn't matter if you support Arsenal or not. Doesn't matter if you support the Reggae Boyz. Naturally, you want both of them to do well. If you look at Crystal Palace and what Patrick Vieira is doing, is he's working wonders. And again, even if you're not can you hear? I'm getting a feedback.
Yeah, kind of get a little feedback. Mute my to see if we'll see.
How's it sounding?
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, like with Crystal Palace and Patrick Vieira, we're all pretty much praying that he does the unthinkable. It'd be great if he does, if he takes Crystal Palace to Europa, similar to Wolves when Wolves went to Europa League and so on. Because what that does is it defeats that stigma that those guys sit, in the board positions, the guys who select the head coaches and the managers, because there's this stigma that black managers can't succeed. Worst if you're dark skinned. So if we have someone like your Paul Hall, your Darren Moore, Patrick Vieira are placed in their position where they are backed financially and backed in other ways as well, and then they go out there and execute their plan beautifully, what that does is it opens up the opportunity, it opens up the other doors for other black managers, dark-skinned managers to sit in the driving seat. Because if not, if he does fail, the next thing people are going to say is go and get an overseas coach, even though Paul Hall is based overseas. When we say overseas, we know what they're talking about, right? They're not saying they want someone that looks like them. They're not saying they want to get somebody that looks like them, the person who sits next to them on their way to work on the bus. They're not saying they want that guy. They want somebody else who is capable of doing the job. And unfortunately, the way football is set up, they've made us believe that the black man can't succeed. Yes, you can succeed on the pitch, but they've made us believe that they can't succeed at being a manager or a coach. So hopefully Paul Hall and, like I said, the Darren Moores and the Patrick Vieira, hopefully they can shatter that stigma, because it needs to be brushed aside once and for all. And this is why it's even more important for Paul Hall to be backed. It's even more important. It's essential for him to be backed, because people in the UK, no disrespect to Tapper, but they have no real desire or no real need to keep on top of what Reggae Boyz are doing, especially when the old gaffer was in charge, the old gaffer being Mr. Whitmore, because he's not one of their own. But in some sense, Mr. Hall is essentially still one of their own. So they're going to be keeping an eye on Jamaica and seeing what Paul Hall is doing, obviously because of that connection with Queen's Park Rangers as well. They want to see what is he capable of. Some are going to be praying for him to fail, and hopefully Paul Hall will be the one to have the last laugh. But yeah, there's going to be plenty of eyes on Paul Hall, more so than Tapper, because of who he is in this country and Queen's Park Rangers.
I agree with you on that, man, 100%. People, we have come to the end of the show. We have roughly 8-minute leave. I'm not going over 2 hours today. I'm telling you that. I'm not doing that tonight, people. So make sure, in the meantime, people, when you smash up the like button, if you haven't, go over subscribe to Talawa TV. See himself for Formula TV. Dr. Joyful, big up yourself. Although you give the most problem and call people the most disrespect name, but big up yourself. Tennessee, big up yourself. No free to follow you guys. But as we may say, Talawa, you make me a walk on a thin line when it come on to that. I always have to refer to that thing, because I know I was one of the man who beat the last coach harder. I don't want
Thing is, Ryan, and I've explained it to you time and time again, I don't think there's anything wrong with criticizing the head coach, the manager, or the players, because it's part of football. They understand it. It's expected. There's not one footballer or one manager who is serious about their job that says they don't want to be criticized. What type of nonsense is that? Even we get criticized for our ordinary 9-to-5s. It's part of life. Like, usually when somebody's criticizing you, you're hoping that it's constructive criticism so that you can get better. So I don't think that there's an issue with criticizing a player or a manager. Perhaps, again, going back, is more so language that's being used, because that's what usually gets people a little bit hot and bothered, when you might say one or two things that they don't necessarily agree with. But there's nothing wrong with criticizing people. It's part of life.
Family, are you worried about this Jamaican team going forward after this game tomorrow? We don't get, if you notice, we don't get a lot of practice game, even when international break. When you look on the calendar, if a team don't invite Jamaica, we don't play. A full time now the JFF need to put. So listen, every single international break, even against Barbados, we should start play every single match. Every international we should play even 1 or 2 games. That's the way going forward. It could have been Barbados, it could have been Trinidad, it could have been Mexico. We have to start to play more games. And can tell you this, brother, I am worried about this Reggae Boyz thing going forward because it's going to rough. Field campaign, a lot of money spent in this campaign and stuff. Where, JFF probably in debt. Where they going to get the money to build up back the program for 2026? We have the Nation League coming up. Are you worried, or you think they have it covered?
I wouldn't say I'm worried, but I am a little bit concerned, to be honest with you. I think there are a number of different variables at play that, could alter the direction of where the program goes, if it goes in a positive direction or if it goes in a negative direction. What I will say is that if Theodore Tapper Whitmore was still the head coach, I'd be extremely concerned. I am a little bit more optimistic with Paul Hall being the head coach and just, his thoughts on how he wants to impact the program kind of does make me, a little bit more optimistic about our future. What I will say though is that we have to really and truly improve our program, right? The fact of the matter is that other national teams have risen and they are already here, right? This is not a golden generation for Canada, right? If you think this is a golden generation for Canada, then you know very little about football, with the greatest of respect to you. This is just the tip of the iceberg from Canada, right? They have implemented a structure in place that has already started to produce world-class players like an Alphonso Davies. So, gone are the days where Canada was a team that Jamaica would fare very well against, right? It is rising, and it is going to get to a point where they're going to rise to a level where Jamaica beating them would probably almost seem unfathom. I don't know the word of me attack. Would seem, highly unlikely, right? Getting a little tongue twisted with that particular word. But yeah, other teams like Curacao, other teams like, well, Suriname is rising as well, right? I see the Dominican Republic trying to make moves as well, and they have big diasporas in the US and in Spain as well, right? Them have right Diaz at Real Madrid is of Dominican Republic descent. Firpo, who came through Barcelona, is of Dominican Republic descent as well. So that's just an example. They have, I think a lot of people think that is only Jamaican of diasporas that they can pull from, right? You have other teams that have diasporas that they can pull from too, and they're starting to pull from those diasporas. So they are rising. So, I really and truly worry about the Jamaica Football Federation and their ability to really run this program in a manner that will enable us to compete even with these other nations like Curacao and Suriname and Damret that are rising. Canada as well, obviously, has a top-notch organization in place. So that's where the real cause for concern is, to be honest with you. And what's so crazy to me, even at Curacao, I see where Curacao is implementing a proper structure in place in their particular jurisdiction, right? With a strong emphasis on coaching, education, and restructuring and all of that sort of stuff. So I think our program has tremendous potential. I think if we get it right, we have nothing to fear. But that's the main cause for concern in terms of the poor structure that we have in place, the politics that is in place that would hamper, upgrading or overhauling that structure. And also just the incompetence of the federation, man. I mean, they're a damn disgrace, man. Not even a simple appeal they can get right. I mean, it's just embarrassing, man. It really is when they make headlines even internationally. in international on international platforms. You just have to hang your head in shame, man, when you hear or even international media speak about our federation. It make it seem like, say, yo, a beer dunce there our country. It make it seem like a beer dunce there Jamaica. When you hear, these people are representing Jamaica on an international level, right? And they're just embarrassing us, man. So hopefully, although I don't think that they have the capacity to improve to the level that is required, hopefully, they can work with Paul Hall and humble themselves and listen and work with him and try and get it going forward. But I am concerned, I will say that, because I do see a number of other teams in Concacaf rising very quickly.
Well said. For me, even we said tell Fabula about when him get appealed. It was me I watch NBC Sports and them asked Robbie Earl, what is going on in the football federation? Bro, the man say, I didn't even want to talk about them. Just let's move on to the next topic.
Depressing.
We play against USA who draw 1-1. Who should I win? And the man say, yo, I not lie to you, bro. I did feel that way. I said, John, no, not even a word. The man say, yo, Robbie, I think I can't remember the person name. I say, listen, I don't even want to speak about them. Let's move on. That's so bad. And that was on an international television. And that's where the football is going. Nobody really care about the thing anymore because of the frustration where the JFF give people. And I try my best to be unbiased. I try my best to make sure that when they do something right, I give them the credit. See, but even when you try to give them the credit today, by tomorrow you hear something go wrong again. And the same credit where I big. Yeah, bro. It's like when them do something good, just hold on upon it, brother. Just keep it. Just keep it. Just keep it. Nobody run go make no video. Neither day I hear JFF in the media say, yo, serious thing formula, brother. Serious thing, brother. No,
Ryan, Bridging, that's exactly how I feel more while Bridging. Like you just swing the armor Bridging, like big and serious Bridging. You're spot on Bridging.
Yeah, cause you think every time I want to bash them, brother, I want to give them the credit, Bridging, and make them feel good, Bridging. Just like, the feedback with me, get people bash me, and then the other time, when you do something good, somebody call you and, or you make them feel and thing, and I mean, yeah, brother, like, I just not have no more. I not hope, cause if I that more, I can go up a hope road go by it. Yeah, sister, man, like, it just drained it, bro. I'm crying off, take enough painkiller, I watch, and I now go set up myself. I'm now run go make the video. Yes, people, yes, like Gold Cup and no, I now set up myself like that. I just watch and see if the Football Federation going to back Paul Hall, allow him to do his job, and do the right thing. We're going to success on the pitch.
Ryan, what happened in the last window where documentation is concerned? And also, from what I understand, even some players didn't there are some issues with COVID, with vaccination and stuff like that.
Which last window? This one or the last?
Not last window, this window, in terms of the last game, the Canada game, in terms of there were players that missed the trip to Canada.
Some
Mm.
some player when are vaccinated. And Canada said that from earlier. If you're not vaccinated, you can't come to the country. And then another thing, I think Low starting out him green card, and them give him a little piece of documents to travel on and thing. But he couldn't go from Jamaica to the to Canada. back on that piece of document. So what he tried to do, go back to USA and then try to come. That's what he do and come across. But when me I say formula, it's simple, easy. But I love for have an interview with the management staff, the manager, the team manager writes him to see what where him head at. Because some of these decision making right now, it don't make no sense. No player have to be vaccinated to go in Canada. We know that we still pick them. Fine if you pick them for the two games. That's the El Salvador and the Honduras. Fine.
But my thing, Ryan, was it a case where they don't want to be vaccinated, none at all, or is a case where it was not known by the players that they needed to sort out them vaccination to be able to go and play this game? If vaccination is indeed the real reason why some of them would have not been able to my thing is, me not see them look. You know, the argument from these respective individuals, Ryan, is that, you know, basically the fans are run up their mouth and the fans don't know, you know, what this thing takes and what is required to do this job and so forth and so forth. And anytime them can draw for the lack of resources argument, them are going to draw for the lack of resources argument. See? But what me I say is, me not see them fine. Me don't know what it takes to run a federation. See? What I do know is that me not see this foolishness a go on with other national teams. You get what me say? Like, me not see it, brethren. So, me don't know.
They have a certain national team, brother, management, brother, you have people who just sit down and that's them a focus on the player them documents. Where you have the people them have the player them documents and thing. Even when my school where I play, this is not international Excelsior. They have the documents, the doctor come, no such have to come 4 or 5 hours before the game, check your weight, check your pressure, check everything before we put on a jersey. Everything. And then you have the physio come, wrap your foot, everything. Organize. Then you have the assistant coach, Coach Karumi at the time, come deal with the match card. Who get red card from such and such, him can't play that game, him miss. So me I say the people them nah do the job properly, brother. The job clearly have them hiccup problem all the while. That means somebody not doing them job. And even the same ticket thing, brother, where it camera roof, where the man them buy a ticket for camera roof, cheaper way, fly from Scotland to come London to take him flight to come to Jamaica. Man end up missing flight. See? We need professional people. Because this is not the first even the flight thing, brother. We have to get people, try get hook up, try get sponsored with the airline. Bridging, we are Jamaica, brother. You understand? And right now, I talk to you, brother. It's like me a fine word. I'm just dead, brother. What me tell you, my brain, everything just dead.
It is depressing. It can be depressing. I know what you mean. I feel a feeling that all the while.
Dead, me I tell him because me I say, yo, every time you beat them on something, you gotta hear them. Boy, I want to know for run. Everything money, but some like a simple thing, some like a common sense thing. The manager, I check all the documents them. You get the documents them. You know, look over it and see same thing with Corberg. The man them know say Corberg, I look about him green card. I want to pick him in the squad. For fly for go at Peru the other day. The man I try to get him green. If we even know, brother, just come up the press conference. I mean, they say, yo, press conference, brother. Talk to the public, brother. But when everybody I say, yo, boy, when them come on them platform, you will not protect them. Brother, when they're a baby, we can't protect. We can protect, we can try, but it's hard. It's hard. We can tell the viewers them say, boy, people in the back of nobody, it no look good. We talk to them. People, this is just the internet, right?
Them try to make it look like so we're not reasonable in a way, in our bashing, Ryan. Like we're unreasonable.
Yeah, my youth. And the man they make it look like, say, boy, the vlogger them are some of the most evil set of people. Them. We just get up and we just a bash. But guess what? It's when your sheet dirty and your bed dirty and on the kitchen dirty and be a cobweb up in the ceiling pan the fan. And you know on nobody for seeing your house, you try to lock the door, you know, and nobody see how your house dirty. And bro, them can't deal with the meat. Them can't deal with we nowadays, brother. I remember once upon a time, I have to turn on my TV and I wait on TV and I see them, you know, for hear what is going on with the Reggae Boyz, you know. That is not, that's not there anymore. So them I try to get accustomed. You know, somebody look at me and tell me, brother, from the Federation. Man, him say, Ryan, nah, I want good, I want bad. When I pull up a socks, even the man I say, yo, the pressure will come under about the type of situation. If it was, man say, I tell you the truth, Ryan. If it wasn't for me alone, I'd fire him. But if them extra pressure upon YouTube and all of them things, reach a point, brother, I don't even want to talk about them, brother. I just can't wait for Liverpool thing come back. And so I dip on my Liverpool thing, I just talk football and I just watch and I just enjoy myself. I can't sit down and have a discussion before a game and say, yo, boy, I tell you what, I'm going to talk, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to talk about football. Look on the other stream we have with the Arsenal thing. It's like a fresh, a breath, a fresher, some fresh breeze. And I see them Jamaican people, me they attack it with. It just feel good. No personal issue. No, the only thing with a complain, boy, the businessman them need to spend more money. But them spend. It's sickening, bridging. It's sickening. I'm gonna know when it will get correct. Because we have the same people them will decide say, yo, we are make money out of this and we not let go this. We don't care about our kids them go to college, our wife alright, we live in our big house, our go club them are run good, we alright. Our business, our jerk center are run good, we alright.
Go club and jerk center, Ryan. So you sound very specific, Virgin. Like you know something, Virgin. That's not a random business where you pull out a thing here, sir.
So the money after go back to the all of the go club them and the jerk chicken center. If you don't catch a video, you have to go catch it. Say, how do you know how still? But them not hurt, brother. Just we as the fans and we as get the youth were hurt, brother. One way out as I get your youth seat is play football, try get a contract for go overseas, make mama happy, make some of my friends them around me happy. You know it. You know I'm so happy. Family, Shamar buying mother a car, buying bridging a car, good bridging. See? By everybody in the community, this. By everybody is a way out, brother. You know much youth want to be like Shaman Nichols in Arima. You know much youth to come from Cassava Peas want to be like Leon Bailey. But when you take away these things from the ghetto youth, them, brother, and again, may I say it again, brother, for them youth now affected about it. For them youth they even care about football, brother. Them now get affected, brother. Lego the gate now, man, and make people, you them can achieve what them supposed to achieve and live a life out of the sports, brother. Because money is there, you know, brother. Money is there, brother. I mean, ask, please, brother, on a know on sell, brother. Just on do the time, just try to give somebody else a chance, no, man. And make what so can happen at the football. Is it one way out? And someone, brother, on a load the youth them, brother. Load the youth them, brother. Load the youth them. Make the youth them grow and choose who they want to choose, brother. Stop forcing things on the youth them. Anyway, tell her before we close off, you have anything you want to say, and formula last saying?
I think we've pretty much covered all grounds. Don't really think I have anything extra to add. Nothing that I haven't said on this platform so many times already. Yeah, I think I've covered everything tonight.
Formula. Last say anything?
Yeah, I mean, just wishing the national team all the best in tomorrow's game. Looking forward to the game. Looking forward to some good football. Looking forward to Ravel Morrison and Leon Bailey linking up again. What took place in El Salvador.
Great. Them are Andre great.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm really looking forward to a very positive performance from the Reggae Boyz in closing out the campaign. I'm happy that we won't finish foot at the table because Honduras is on 4 points and we are on 8. So even if Honduras sets a bomb and beat we, they'll move up to 7. So that I think that's good going into the. Can we still finish second to last? I think we can still finish second to last. At third to last rather. Third to last.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I try to remember the point standing in my head, but
I think we can. If let me go back and look at the points. I'm sure.
You will try to look for.
no, but we want to, at this point in time, we are trying to make the thing look a little bit more respectable.
We are the team. We are the team.
El Salvador is on 10 points. And they have Mexico next.
Oh my God, they are sticker.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, we could finish third from last.
How much points is El Salvador on?
El Salvador, 10.
I think it's 10. Yeah, I think it's 10. We are on 8.
They're on 10 and we're on 8.
Yeah, so hopefully.
It sounds so shocking saying this. I can't believe it.
Hopefully we can finish third to last and make the table look a little bit more respectable. But yeah, I think the guys will perform well in tomorrow's game. But hopefully Paul can get a win.
Don't ask me about the points again. It is horrid. 8 points.
Yeah.
If we
That's a point every 2 games,
brother. We a game. Can't believe so we have 8 play 9 game at home, 9 or 8 game at home. I wanna win 1 all now, brother. I think this one I make 8. Yeah.
We haven't won a World Cup qualifying at home in quite some time.
12 from 2012, that's the last time, brother. Bro,
over a decade ago.
One of the most things that pain my brother when I sit down right as a Sunday and I watch before the game. And me hear the commentator them. Man them say, yo, big man thing, the man them say, yo. When the Canadian coach don't talk, the man say, yo, this is our home. We used to play in this weather. We love playing this weather. If we could have played all our World Cup game them in this weather, would have played it and win the World Cup. Which is true. Man say, yo, welcome. Jamaica coming to hell. See? And that's the last statement the man make and walk off formula. And then 2 commentators.
The arrogance of it all, man. Yo, when you ever think you'd have seen the day when Canada head coach a bad way up so Bertrand with so much confidence, Bertrand. Because the man know him about to run over outside, Bertrand.
But the thing is, he would, because he's been there, done that with the women's team. So for him, it's just like he's looking at us where we're completely inexperienced. It's funny because JFF should have a great amount of experience, but they don't because they're just not with it. It's amazing that they've been standing in their position for donkey's years and are still inexperienced. It's shameful. But yeah, he's up against, no disrespect to our gaffer, he's up against Paul Hall, and Paul Hall is inexperienced, and our team, that team is inexperienced. So if we manage to pull off a shocker, they would have to have a hard look at themselves. So he would talk like that, talk with confidence, but really and truly you're up against an inexperienced team with an inexperienced manager. So it's hardly anything for them to brag about. But big ups to Canada, and congratulations to them again on going to the World Cup. And I hope they have a successful campaign.
Bro, hear the man say, hear the man them say, yo. The man them say them expect Jamaica to run riot, run everybody in this World Cup qualifier campaign with the caliber of player the Jamaica national team have. And man say Jamaica is the biggest embarrassment in this World Cup qualifier.
Who said that?
The two commentators them, brother. The man them say Jamaica are the two biggest. Jamaica is the biggest embarrassment in the group.
And the way we play to Ryan, in terms of the quality of the performances or the lack thereof, man. Just some terrible performances, Bertrand. Some terrible performances, Bertrand. Some pathetic performances.
All right. Before we close our people, family, you know how much player we use this season in the World Cup qualifier?
How much?
We use 50.
50 different players.
50 different players.
How you not say to me? That's a lot of players. That's a lot of players.
Brother, we use 50 players, brother. 50 players we use.
In 14 games?
50
13 games? No, Ryan. You sure, Ryan?
Brother, 50 players.
13 games?
50 players. Every minute a different squad. Remember, break it down for you. See, match day 1, Mexico Azteca. 23 players. Match day 2, we play Panama. We have 8 new players in the squad. All 8 start. See? But the man laugh.
And on a positive, at least we give opportunity. So if there's anybody that wants to test themselves,
You know much
Ryan, click remove from the screen pan Crystal tab. Crystal, don't do that to it, Crystal. Don't do that to it, Crystal. This is not the moment to be making light of such a depressing situation, Crystal.
Formula, if you don't laugh, you will cry. I'm gone past that stage. I can only laugh. I can only laugh.
So you ready again?
Yeah, man, go through, man. Although I don't even know if more I hear this, but go through.
So match week 3, no new faces. Match week 4, that I want to play the USA, come back again from international. So match week 4, USA versus Jamaica. Seeing 4 new players in the squad again. 1 in the starting lineup. Seeing match week 6, we play against Honduras, where we beat Honduras. No new player introduced to the squad. Seeing match week 7, we play against El Salvador. 3 new players involved in the squad, 1 star. Seeing? All right, let's move on. Match week 8, Jamaica versus USA. No change to the squad. Match week 9, Mexico versus Jamaica. 2 new players with call up. So match week 10, no new player. Match week 11, no new player. Match week 12,
No new player in that.
9 new player. 1 starting level. Match week 13, 1 new player.
Hold on 1 second. Match day 12, there was 9 new players?
Yeah. What do you think match day 12 hour? Match day 12, what do you think? You don't remember? Match new match El Salvador, brother.
Yeah.
So match
only a new player for true.
Match week 13, we have 1 new player. So in all, a 50 player we use in this World Cup qualifier campaign. 50. And you know how much Tapper use in the 5 year as manager? 98. 98. You know, so we not trouble, brother. You know, so we not trouble. So, in the last 5 years, seeing, we check how much player we use in the last 5 years. Check what England use. Check what Germany use. Check all of them team, the international team, the brother. Tapper Whitmore used 98 player, 5 years as the Reggae Boyz manager. And this World Cup qualifier, we use 50. Embarrassment, brother. Brother, me watch a Canadian news and the man must say, yo, the Canadian coach him believe in a loyalty. Yeah, hard no matter how much rumpus you kick up. Believe in other squad, them kind of call 1 or 2 player. But go and look on the Canadian team. Sometimes a 2 change make. Sometimes none. Depend on injury. Is it? Same thing. Costa Rica kind of add a little bit of young player in the midfield. I'm going to do the research, you know. And Costa Rica. Remember we play Costa Rica with Jevan East and Shaman Nicholson. Them get dinner for beat the man them our jaw. You see? Ball upon the goal line. Up to me look at Sonny that kick that now goal with Jevan. What Jevan East miss. And look on Costa Rica. The experience them have, I tell people say don't play with experience. When a team know to qualify for World Cup, you can't play a role. At the on the stream and I say, yo, I wonder how much player them man I use. But big up to Bailey who do the research. He do research for the for some top place in Jamaica. Some criminal place. So big up yourself. Me still a try find a name for if you watch it or if you a class. Big up yourself for do this research for me. I'm still a wait for the USA, Canada, and how much player them use. Come on, make that video there. So the person who do the research, that him get paid for the research. So you see what we in a 98 player, brother. And when me I tell somebody from the Football Federation how much player the man use, the man say a lie, I tell Ryan. A lie. I'm so much you bet me. And then go check it. And one of the things I'm more add to, and this is why I never have no mercy upon Coach Whitmore. See? Out of them 98 players they pick as 5 years as manager. See? You have the gang of 9 and you have about 16 of them always been get calling in the team. The Junior Flemings, the Shaman Nichols, the Javan East, the Alvas Powell, the O'Neill Fisher, the Damian Lowe, the Andre Blake, the Tariq Maggie, Speedy, Javon Watson. If you're looking at the book for them name, but it must been consistent with over 14 players. That's half of your starting level. That's level player, brother. You understand? From Gold Cup, I tell you, say you say if we change manager from Gold Cup, would have a better chance. Would have a better chance. Would have a better chance. Would you have Japan a change and stuff? But it what it is, it done gone bad already. Rafael, watch our next World Cup again. And may I tell you this formula. Don't make the Jamaican people fool you. Crystal, don't make the Jamaican people fool you. America, Canada, all of them cheating to qualify for World Cup. Can tell you this. Is if we don't get it together, Me see this time and time when Costa Rica and Panama them don't qualify for the World Cup. All them system is them just produce young player. Tell them, man, put my life in this, brother. Put a whole heap of work in this, brother. Sleepless night. Especially when I work my night work, brother. Sleepless night, brother. Head. Got me out. Can't sleep, brother. Come home, can't sleep, brother. Just because making my country proud, making video, and this is what we get back. After all of the hard work what we do. All of the hard work what we do. Another disappointment. And it's going to be another disappointment for 2026. But me there, I know come 2026, I'm not going to have my heart like that because I am going to get older and I'm going to get a little bit more mature and know how to approach this. But anyway, people, nothing about respect, as I say. Big up to all of the people, them. Love, you know. Focus on Liverpool. Boy. That man say, I don't know why me I run go buy this bag of Jamaican jersey and get caught up in this Jamaican thing. Liverpool no give me so much stress, brother. Them usual give me stress before club come. Me have to take 4 pound killer, eat, and then I watch a game. So no Liverpool I play, me just relax so, and I eat. The money I score back 1 or 2. Get back. But fresh God, big up yourself. Hot chili pepper. The girls them sugar plum. Easy workout. Big up yourself. Fresh God, big up yourself. Big up to all of you guys down in the comment section. It was a pleasure to speak to you. It's a pleasure to see you guys. It's a pleasure to see all the vlogger them. Man, them flap a big time. For the whole hour put in much work. Sleepless night. Crystal, look at the hours.
I know. I'm dreading tomorrow. I am, because this time I'm gonna be up. I told you, I don't even know if I can do a preview tomorrow, because I could do the watch along, maybe a quick, maybe 10-minute preview. Either way, I pretty much have to finish my live stream and then get ready for work. So yeah, it's painful. It's painful supporting our team in terms of the efforts that we put into giving them our support from a distance. We can't all go to the games, unfortunately, for so many different reasons. So we have to sit and watch it from home, and we're all in different time zones. It's tiring, so tiring.
Brother, only my buy and lime, brother, for squeeze on my choke, brother. Sometimes I say, babes, rub your for me now. Just to make one of them Jamaican people the way I ball out the choke tool by you. Sometimes, brother. I say, babes, they move so. I say, yo, get their toe, man, and rub the iron pan it and put it on me and for me recover fast, for go back, for go do a little video. Voice, my tongue say swell up, brother. Man put in a thing, brother. And I diss the man and pay back, brother. And then man, player, I go look and I say, yo, man, nah, support the team. Brother, if you play good, brother, I think would have sit on your son and say, yo, come on, do better, brother. I for run a fool, brother. We soon play against you remember the Serbia game formula or the whole area say, yo, yeah. I cheer the back we use.
I think we use a 3-4-3 in that game there, remember, sir, man.
Game there, I say, yeah, and even me talk to some of the players them and speedy them, I say, yo, yeah, dog, yo, I'm glad I can sit down and I listen to the thing them, brother, and good for know that. But next day, I have a bad game and I kill it. I say, yeah, brother, you know, I saw the thing, brother, I have everything, brother. So tell her, whole heap of hurt man put it in the bridging. No much night man done a man back sore.
And the lights, don't forget the ring lights. So much damage that does to your eyes.
I tell you, man, sister, no much cuss my wife cuss me and say, yo, sometime on Saturday I go in. Me dey in here and me see me go touch my wife and she box out me and I say, yo, go on, go sex football, go on, go do that, brother. Spend time with football and go on. And they are bridging, put in much work, brother, and the man them disappointed, brother.
Hurts. Definitely hurts.
Anyway, people, I'm not keeping it a long guy in a formula. When the big up, fresh got big up, all I want to big up. People that like the video, come on, man. Like the video, people, man. When you next one to man, on the two sometime-ish, man, and like the video, man. Man, I telling you support, I want to not support the thing, people, and like the video. Every minute, Rafael, I'm telling you like the video. Like the video, people, man. Come on, man. We they are ball out. See all cat right there on him sick bed. The man sick and the man come out. Just for go watch Reggae Boyz. People who like the video, I'm telling you anytime I go up on no Reggae Boyz scream it, make it be a hobby. I don't see why we get 1,000 views every time. And when I look on the comment section, when I look on the like button, 100 likes, 50 likes. People who never want to now make the platform grow. Because the more like when you like the video, the more YouTube push it out to more people. When you now do the thing, we there sit down right now, my back hurt me, everything hurt me. And I say, yo, like the video. When you take it hard for like the video, we say, yo, subscribe. Go and subscribe to Talawa, go and subscribe to Formula, go on over Coach's Deck. You not do them thing, the people, you know, another one. I turn it out for you. You like the video, people. Because when I go and see other sports in England, I even hear the man them talk about for like Formula. Man them 5,000 views. 1,000 like. 2,000 like. And I ask the Jamaican people them say, yo, like it. And like Raphael beg them. Man, people, man. Jesus Christ, man. You can't see on here, sorry, I'm telling you like the thing, like the thing. Like the thing, people, man. Anyway, Formula and a big up, brother. People, big up. Love when I'm going to leave you guys with the favorite moment. The best football game of all time I ever sit down and watch and witness. Nothing top this. Thank you guys for watching.
And Jurgen's men rise against every obstacle in front of them tonight.
Still Henderson, saved by the goalkeeper, and in by Divock Origi. And Liverpool have scored early. Then Mane's in the middle, there's not much else to aim for. Now there is, it's in! It's Gini Wijnaldum for Liverpool! He's caught in a beauty! Wijnaldum! Oh my goodness gracious me! The unthinkable! The unbelievable! Liverpool are level from 3 down against Barcelona! The raw emotion of what's going on in this game. Early goal, Origi! Liverpool disconnect! What a piece of quick thinking from Trent Alexander-Arnold! And Divock Origi has 2, and Liverpool have 4, and they are on the precipice of the greatest night of European champions.
I'll say this directly to Man United fans, just lower your expectations, man. You're not a decent club anymore. You're not going to challenge for the title. Just be happy, just embrace that. It's not the despair, it's the hope that kills you. So look at Arsenal. They have no hope. Their fans are having a lovely time.
They're happy as Larry, aren't they?
They're having a gorgeous time. United fans, just give up hope. You will enjoy it far more. I'll say this directly to Man United fans. Just lower your expectations, man. You're not a decent club anymore. You're not going to challenge for the title. Just be happy. Just embrace that. It's not the despair. It's the hope that kills you. So look at Arsenal. They have no hope. Their fans are having a lovely time.
They're happy as Larry, aren't they?
They're having a gorgeous time. United fans, just give up hope. You